Yes, 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 yes. I didn't always get it.
Stream is live.
We
Yay.
we are live. I didn't always get it. I didn't always get it. All these people were fascinated with horses and ponies, and there's an obsessive love for the magic, for the majesty of horses and ponies. I didn't get it, but I do now. I do now, and it's because of not only the people I love in my life, but the kink community. Ladies and gentlemen, everything we talk about tonight is between consenting adults. We're decent, consenting adults. We pay our taxes. We don't break laws. We're trying to get by. We have sexual fetishes that are safe, sane, and consensual. You know what I mean? And we like to practice them together in a safe, sane, and consensual way. And that's what this is all about. It's a positive show. My name is Nicholas Tannick. This is your kinky presence. Tonight. Oh, this is so good. Everybody, tonight we are here with subMissAnn. She is a friend of the show. She's been here many times. She's an absolute legend in the community. So basically, let's bring it all together. She wrote a book, an amazing book called Pony Play with subMissAnn. This is the 3rd edition. This thing. But this way, I was never into pony play that much. I love kink, and you know me. I love kink. I love sexual expression and freedom and kindness and things being cool. My friend, subMissAnn, sent me this book. And this is amazing. Enlightened me with the whole entire fetish. I knew it. I know I have friends who are in it. I have friends and family members who love horses and ponies and all things equine. But this book impressed me. I see books all the time. This book impressed me. And also, it's great for spanking. I spanked Sunshine's ass with it. It's great. More importantly, there's pictures, there's diagrams. It's an educational show. This is an educational show. This is an educational book, but it's also got spirit. It's got that fire, that passion that I talk about. subMissAnn, thank you very much for being here. So let me ask you this. Let me start off. What's inspiring you these days?
What's inspiring? You know, what inspires me is when someone new calls and says that they want to try out pony play. I just got an email last night from someone who asked to be vetted for the LA Pony and Critter Club play date so they could come and give it a whirl. They had a friend who wanted to be a pony and they want to learn how to rein. And so we chatted because that's how you vet people. You get a feeling that, you know, that they're sincere, that they really want to explore this, that they're a real person. And so I'm looking forward to seeing them on Saturday. But I think that always inspires me. You see, when I started pony play, the community was very private, and I tried to find anyone who would talk to me about pony play. And back then in 2005, 2003, back then, there were Yahoo groups, and I couldn't get into Yahoo groups because nobody knew me. I was nobody. I was just some, person. So that was the whole thing that when I got a leather title, that was my whole platform, was that I wanted to make pony play accessible. And I had 20 events I wanted to go to and present classes at so that everybody knew about pony play, and there could be little groups I wanted to make it so big and so known that anyone could try it out. They could find someone locally, or at least, you know, within travel distance, that they could talk about pony play. And I succeeded, and that's really,
You sure
that's
did.
really it. You know, when I first filled out a BDSM, it's one of those forms of what do you know, what would you like to know, what don't you know, what would you like to explore kind of forms, like when you're just going to play with somebody. A form that everyone should fill out before they play with somebody.
Yes, definitely.
So the person had handed it to me, said, if you don't know it, you know what something is, give me a call. Guess what I didn't know was the call I made was for pony play, because I had never heard of it. And so all of a sudden I had this reading I had to do. I had to read Anne Rice's The Training of Beauty. It's a trilogy. And there's pony play in it. Yeah, because I'd never seen it, not at all. And so it was probably about 2 years later that I got real interested in it, because things sort of circled back, things were happening, and I wanted it to be accessible.
So this is the 3rd edition. Let's bring it up. I'm just so people can buy
Yeah,
it.
you want to see the
Go to
difference?
Amazon and buy it. Yes, we'll talk about that. That's wow. Okay, so let's go back.
This is the difference between the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd edition.
So how does it build upon the
So
previous
how
version?
did it come about? So you see, so when I got my leather title, remember I said that I wanted to go to events, and I did. I charmed, did anything I could to get myself to all these different events. Add a list, add 20. It took me 10 years to actually get a presentation into all 20 events, the hardest being leather events. It's much easier at a fetish event or a kink event to get pony play in, but a leather event, that was hard. I think the thing was that I had to prove myself. I had to prove my dedication, my integrity, my passion, and my commitment in order to get into a leather event. And I did. And all of a sudden I was there at Heat LA, and I was into Desire, the women's convention, like that. But in the meantime, I started out, and when you do presentations, I would have handouts. You know, like if I was doing a gate class, there'd be a handout afterwards. If I was doing make your own stuff, there would be a handout. If I was doing a class on this or that. So this is the first book. And how this book came about was I invited myself to Hawaii, as you do, to an event there that had already been completely programmed. They already had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, completely programmed. And did that stop me? No, not at all. I suggested that they add a Monday intensive where I could do hours of pony play for the people who wanted to stay and do that. And so there was an assistant to the producer who brought me there. And she, so she had all of the classes, right? And she did all of this, copying. We called it Xeroxing back then. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes.
The Xerox machines.
There were whole companies, yeah. Xerox.
So she had this pile of these handouts, and she was like, Anne, you could write a book with these. You have enough here to write a book. And she actually edited it and sent it to me. And then I had another friend who did the Campbell Soup Publishing, Sandra. And I gave it to her. We expanded it just a little bit. One of the things that happened was that, like the drawings by Satine, how the drawings came about was that Satine was at a play date with her pony. And I was explaining to her about how to cue. And all of a sudden she like whipped out a pad of paper and she started drawing this diagram. She was drawing the diagram for herself. And I was like, oh, that's fantastic. Can I like pay you to, make it, a little better and I could hand it out to people. I'm trying to see where that diagram is in here now. I'm sure it's here, but that diagram is in the book. Here we are. So this is what Satine was drawing at the play date, and I just had her make it better and ask for permission to publish it.
That's beautiful. I mean, that symbolizes that how this book came to be symbolizes how the kink community comes to be, that people working together, how, she did that
very organic.
Like that. It's very organic. My books are written that way too. Like the coolest way. I'm finding notes and letters and diary entries from other, that people sent me and stuff like that. And it's all compiled. So it's all real. It's beautiful. And I'm glad that you pointed out. Let me ask you this. What can readers expect from the book? All right. So I see this book. It's a pony play. I automatically see this. Right. All right. Okay. It's kinky. It's kinky pony play. I'm in. Right. It's a 3rd edition. That means I'm throwing away my other 2.
Right. So
no, I'm not. I'm giving them away.
Don't give them away, especially the first one. There's actually a thing where the first one of edition books becomes more valuable, even though it has true information. I was joking. So 10 years passed, and so a little over 2 years ago, I actually started working on getting this book together. Basically, it had been 10 years. There were more experiences that I had. There were things I wanted to add to it. I had done a whole lot more reining and training of ponies and producing events for ponies. My events are a little bit different, I guess, because of my kink. I produce, so I just have a fascination for games, having adults, anybody play games together. It is something where it seems to bond people. You find your commonalities instead of looking at people and seeing your differences. It makes you work together. And also, if you provide a positive environment, in other words, like the context is something that is about us together having a great time and all winning, it's like magic happens in the community, and people feel alive. Like when you were a kid, or at least when I was a kid, we ran out to find where the kids were playing on the block. And we played tag, we played jump rope, we played role play games. And it was fun and it was enlivening. And these experiences of actually being together and creating, in the sense of Yeah. In the state of being, you're creating. All you have is your affinity for humanity and your connection to humanity. And I just love that. That is truly my kink. It just sends everyone off in a better space than when they started. And so that's what I do. And I do it using pony games.
I love that you said that. Seriously, I wrote that down. All you have is your connection with humanity. I truly believe that. When people are on their deathbed, I've been in and out of the hospital, had a liver transplant, and I didn't care. I didn't want certain books or I love lingerie. I didn't look clothes, anything like that. What I wanted was connection with people. And when people are on their deathbed, they're not looking for like can I have my house, or my set, or something else, or a material item. They're looking for people, the people they love and miss. You know what I mean? Of course, they want it in their house, but let's move on. Thank you for pointing that out. I appreciate that. Let me ask you. Let's move the question on. How would you explain the appeal of pony play to someone who's curious but unfamiliar?
Oh gosh. I think that horses in general, there's something just incredibly like bio horses. There's something like all these guys back here. There's something incredible about horses. When you're in their presence, they actually envelope you with their energy, and they calm your heart goes with their heart. They have an incredible effect on people. They're just a magnificent, inspiring creature, and how they work and how they be. And so emulating them, doing things where you are copying them and trying to capture that essence, that being. I think that that's very appealing, to emulate something as magnificent as a bio horse. What do you have in your hand? Is that a dressage whip?
Found this. I just found this. It's one of the toys. I always like to bring some of the toys on the show, and I just realized I had a fun night last night.
I guess so.
So yeah, I found this. I found this, and I was like, "Ooh, pony play! We're talking about pony play. This is going to be great." Yeah, so it
See,
is.
those are dressage whips, which is what's on the picture there. That's a dressage whip. I still have that whip.
So one thing I love about
I use them for cueing, not beating. Unless you're in a very, very crowded space and you're in a cart, like when you're at Folsom Fair, what you use these long whips for mainly is to keep the people off your pony, because they don't have permission to be on your pony, touch your pony, do things to your pony,
Okay, let me ask you this. For people, just we'll get back to the pony play, but for people with horses, stuff like that, please, I want to say, if you're going to touch my horse, ask.
Yes.
Right?
Of course. Yeah. It's like any, anyone that, think about service dogs. You're not supposed to touch service dogs without asking first. You're not supposed to touch someone's slave without asking first. Your consent. It's,
Okay, let's move on, because let's talk about your awards and your honors. And you've been honored by many. You've been honored with incredible recognitions, right? Including Sabrina Belladonna, the Sabrina Belladonna Lifetime Achievement Award.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, induction. What? I want to have my notes. Induction to the BDSM Hall of Fame,
Oh,
2024.
these are over
Right?
here.
So, what do these honors mean to you personally? There she goes.
I know. Here we are. These are like amazing. So, yeah. Ooh. What's even more amazing is, yeah, that's quite
So,
something, because for me, I have been doing, I've just been doing my thing. I've just been doing pony play and presenting events for us to continue our play. And I built a track and a dressage arena out in Tarzana at my friend's back pasture. She basically had been inviting me since like I met her to go do something out there. So it wasn't until we were all at home during COVID that I had nothing to do. And we had 5 days of rain. So I was walking my dog Ollie, and I was like, Ollie, this is a blessing. We're going to go rent a tiller and go, destroy that back pasture and build something magnificent. So we did. And that was also great because, see, it was outdoors, and that would be healthier than being indoors. And we could spread out. We were over the whole pasture. It's really a very, very beautiful space. And I'm very thankful to my friend Fetish Jade that she allowed me to build that in the backyard. You can actually see it from the satellite map on Google if you know where the address is in Tarzana. It's quite something.
okay, so what was your vision? Because for the Los Angeles Pony and Critter Club, I have this. I've just put it up there. What was your vision for this? Please tell us more about it.
Well, when I first formed it, I had done pony play for like 2 years, and I had met Rebecca. Mostly I was a cart pony. And then we ran for the North American Pony Trainer title, and we got that. And I had this goal of going to events and presenting pony play. So this was like way, way, way back. And she had sort of a stage left thing happen in her life where she moved to Stockholm. And so there I was by myself with these promises that I made to go to these events. And I didn't have anyone to hold my reins, let alone, anyone else. So I started with going around to the local clubs in LA and San Diego. So at that time, it was like Lair de Sade and Threshold and down at Club X. And during that time, I asked if there was a pony who'd be willing to let me practice with them and learn how to rein. So that pasture that I built the track in, at that time it was just weeds. It was just hard and weeds. And that's where I just got a long lining book and learned to read, learned to rein. And I started the club by posting that I wanted to have munches at Cantor's. See what I did there?
Yes, right on. In LA. You gotta sell these books. These good books.
And so we would meet at Cantor's, And then the people that were interested in pony play, after I explained it to them, we would go back. At that time, I was living in the Carthay Circle district. And so we would just go down the street to where I was living, and we would do like pony play in the back of the driveway. And so that was how the club was formed. Basically, I wanted somebody to play with. I wanted to find people that I could enjoy my kink with, because there wasn't anybody particularly in the clubs or dungeons that was doing that. I was the only pony that I knew of in LA. So I found friends. I made friends. I manifested friends to do my kink with me.
You know what? That's what's so refreshing and inspiring about puppy play, pony play, stuff like that. Is it's almost funny that you have to become an animal to become more human. You know what I mean? Some of the people who are into puppy play, to pony play at the dungeons that I go to and stuff like that, they're some of the kindest, coolest people in the community. They really are. That's, why do you think that is?
I think that it appeals to, there's several things qualities. Number one, you have to be creative, because you have to be able to imagine yourself as something else. And I think that it takes a certain amount of intellect to be creative, or a certain part of your brain that works, that doesn't always necessarily work for everybody. The people that I found that do puppy play, pony play, usually always also do Ren fairs and cosplay. They're imaginative people. They like role play. They like costuming and becoming something else. And when you become something else, especially an animal, while you're doing that, it like sets your mind free. You're not thinking about problems or issues or your checkbook. All of a sudden you're there and your mind is silent, and you're listening for commands. You're listening to the person who's going to throw the ball and you're going to fetch it, or you have on your bit and your head thing, and you're listening for cues, but your mind is silent. And I think that that's very attractive. It's one of the things that appeals to people.
Yes.
Like my pony, is that because in his life as a human, it's constant. There's all these voices. and when he's doing pony play, there's
clarity.
Peace and
Yeah,
clarity.
there's peace, there's clarity, and it makes all the difference. And I have to admit, as what's funny, I never thought I would enjoy like taking care, like being someone who is, it's because like a handler is a caring role, and I find great pleasure in that. As you, we both love our submissive sides, right? And there's, I think both of us, you actually, I think, taught me that, finding almost an existential pleasure in service, and you know what I mean. So yes, let's move on.
A handler and a trainer is a service top position. You're in command, and you have to do like the overseeing. You're the guardian, but you're also the person who makes decisions for them to make sure that that they're learning, that they're active, that they're behaving. You're the one in charge. A guardianship is, that takes a lot of trust. that's a very, like, somebody has to really, really trust you in order to do that. And while it is a top position, it's also a service position. You have to look out that they have water, because they're just off being a pup or a pony or a fox or whatever it is that they're being. But you have to be present. You have to be looking at the environment. You have to be looking at the people around. If you're doing an activity, you're the one directing.
Speaking of like puppy play, because we had a party at the manor, a puppy play party at Mischief Manor, and that's Mischief Manor is the dungeon that we go to. I have to admit, it was a wedding, like a collaring ceremony, and let's say collaring ceremony, from what my memory serves with me well, if it does, which it usually doesn't. I have to admit, the pups were amazing. I've never just felt. I mean, of course, I've felt it before. I've been part of the rave scene and other parties and stuff like that. But that sense of community that it has, love, because you want to take care of somebody. You want to take care of, and you can tell a lot about somebody, how they treat another animal as well. Even if it's a person acting as an animal. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just like this. There's a lot of kindness. There's a lot of love in the play, and it's a beautiful thing. Let's talk about Equus. Equus International Pony Play event has become a major gathering. And so you have.
We're sold out this year.
You're sold out.
Yes.
Wow. What makes this event so special compared to the other events in the kink and leather world?
Well, we have daylight hours because there isn't lighting in the pasture. It's something that's been going on for years. So everyone knows there's like a Western day. So we do different disciplines. So if you look at what horses do, they do Western games. You can go to a rodeo. You can go to different Western game activities. There is karting. So we do a long distance kart race. I don't think it's very long, but the ponies pulling the carts do. So that's our track is 225 feet, and I have them go 7 times around it. So I feel that it feels long for them, but it's something that is under 5 minutes. So that's good. It is what it is. So that's a different discipline. And then there's draft horse games. I actually at Equus, I'm hoping to dress up as Merida, the brave character, and do draft horse games with my draft horse Viagra. I think that it'll be exceptionally fun. Merida is a fierce, independent woman who doesn't want her family telling her who she can marry and giving her limited choices in life. And she's a horsewoman. She's exquisite. She's in the movie. She's one of those characters who can ride horseback and like shoot the arrows perfectly. I can't do that. But
right. I want to ask you a question, Ben.
Yeah.
You said something. You say something which I end up saying too, quite often, because there are many people in my life who love horses, and I believe there's a certain personality, there's a certain type. So when you said she's a horsewoman, I knew what you meant by that. You know what I mean? Can you, in your own words,
horsewomen are the most fierce women on the planet.
That's yeah. Tell me about a horsewoman.
They control a 1,000-pound beast. They get kicked off, dropped, whatever. 10 seconds later, they're back on the horse. They have to care for this horse. They're up early in the morning in order to take care of it. Horsewomen are fierce. You do not want to mess with a horse girl. You know, she ain't taking your shit. She don't take that shit from a huge beast. They are the most admirable women I have ever met, and especially when you meet one that also does pony play, I'm just in awe. You know, I was not a horsewoman. I was a city girl. My entire thing with horses was being taken to that thing where they go around in a circle. I thought it was really cool when all of a sudden I got to ride one. It was actually a horse that just trotted down a chute, and the chute went like back and forth, but we weren't going in a circle. So I was totally jazzed. And I've gone on the trail ride horses. And to this day, if I'm in Manhattan, I will try to get over to Central Park, where they have the cart horses. And what I love about that, so what I do is I put myself with bio horses because I want to see them. I want to be in their being. I want to see how they move. I want to see how they handle things. Like if I'm in one of those cart horses in New York City, I'm noticing that when we go out on the public street, that horse is actually looking at the cars. He's looking at the cars go by. He's looking at the distance, and he merges when it's safe. But you can actually see them do. You can see the wheels spinning. You know, you can also see the wheels spinning when they know that that's the exit for the short route, and I get to go back and have water and rest. And they definitely want the exit for the short route, but I've bought the long route. So the guy has to argue a little bit. No, we're going here. And they're like, okay. So I find it's just fascinating. One time I did a special with HBO. It wasn't included in the footage, but the thing so first what they did was
what was it for?
So when they
first,
what
was it for real sex? Was it for do you remember the production? Like that would be like real sex.
I've looked for it. It was on, was it Netflix or HBO? Originally, it was shot for a company who said that they wanted to present pony play in a positive manner, which is the only reason I signed up for it, because they had the programs of your addiction kind of program, or that
documentaries.
Right. You couldn't get me to do that. So they signed me up to do one.
Confessions.
Right. It was actually supposed to be positive. So they had the whole
Hookers on the point.
And I invited Mistress Ellen and incredible people in the in my world to take my reins and be there and take me in carts. And we actually had karting in Griffith Park. And we also, what they did was they bought time at one of the places that gave horseback rides at Griffith Park. And so I got to be in my pony gear. I got to be a pony and walk by the stalls. And then I got to be in a corral, and they allowed a horse in, and I got to be in there with a horse. I also got to, like, when I was just entering the facility, there was about 12 horses. They were probably lined up to go on a trail ride. And I was just walking in, and they came up to me, and they were just smelling me. they come up, and that's what they do in order to figure out like who you are and take a sense of who you are. I had the most meaningful interactions with them, so that's where I got to see like how they greet you. They when their idea of coming up and saying hello is to walk up to you and smell your nose, take in your breath, and take in your essence of who you are. So when I'm in pony mode and I go greet a pony, that's how I greet them, because that's how I was greeted by bio horses. So you take these experiences and you just add them to your library that you can pull out. And when you're being a pony, that's being a pony. That's how ponies are. And so my experiences of actually being with bio horses have all been really, really positive. They loved me. They were all about playing with me or running with me in the corral. I was walking around with the pony. We also had something where I was pulling a cart, and then we had a bio horse come up, pulling a cart. And then that horse wanted to check me out. They did not want to stay in a straight line. They were like, they wanted to come over. They wanted to sniff me. They wanted to see what the heck I was all about. They wanted to check me out. It was great. It was great experiences. Horses are amazing.
They are. And competitions play a role in your life. And in the kink community. So what role do competitions play in keeping pony play vibrant?
Competitions.
Because you produced the North American Pony Trader contest.
And that came out. So I wasn't the original owner. So there was International Pony Trainer, and evidently that only lasted 1 year, and Mystic Storm and Luna Bear were the title holders for that. And for various reasons, that title disappeared. And so they petitioned to have the North American Pony Trainer contest. And it was held in West Virginia. Rebecca and I went to West Virginia to do that. And we did a very different kind of pony play than the pony play back east. At that time, it was pony play can be done in many ways. And there's a thing where people who do pony play like to do skits. And they like to give ponies maybe some more human aspects. Or they like to do things that tell a story in their skit. I like to do dressage. Rebecca and I do dressage. We do freestyle dressage routines. We just turn on the music and she directs me to do different gaits, and we're off and we're going. But this type of play, when we did it, was new. It was not the most popular, not the most explored type of play. It was a new idea. And not that it hadn't been done before. I'm sure that it had, but it was very much not the norm. And so we still got our title. And then the people that produced that, there was something that happened in the community. They were, one of them was a teacher, and someone in the community outed them as being into BDSM. And so they were given a choice at their job of completely quitting any of that kind of activity. Not even on the sly could they do that activity in order to keep their job. And they did. So the North American Pony Trainer Contest wasn't produced for there was nobody doing it. And I actually went to another event. I'm trying to remember what it was called. It was in Florida. And so I wasn't running for their competition. I was just there doing their pony competition. And I said that I would go through, like the being interviewed by the judges and everything. And so this was where I met Master Liza and Master Liza's slave Jody, who are judges for my pony trainer contest now. But Jody, during my interview, said, North American Pony Trainer, isn't that a defunct leather title? And oh my God, like my whole body seized up. A defunct leather title. And so you always have choices.
Mm-hmm.
When something like that happens, right? Yes. And my choice was, I declared right then that I most likely could have supported Mystic Storm and Luna Bear more in carrying on the North American Pony Trainer Contest, and that I would immediately be contacting them and making sure that our leather title continued. And I did. And so
that's one thing I love about you. I mean, you have, let me put it this way. The Los Angeles Pony and Critic Club is part of the Leather Quilt. And it's part of preserving leather history.
Yes.
So, and I feel it in the words of your book. I sense it like me. You're like me in many ways. I'm like you in many ways, in the sense that we're trying to document the culture. You know what I mean? So let me ask you this: how do you feel legacy and documentation is? Why do you think it's so important in kink?
I think that it's important. Well, you look at the history of pony play, you can find it really, really way back, but you only find it because of documentation. So first there were like the tribal dances. There's always been, even when we were primal, we danced around like animals and we emulated them. And that's been around. There are cave drawings. There are, for forever. The next, like, really hefty documentation that we have is before Christ. There evidently was some religious leader who didn't like another religious leader. So he said, it was a religious leader who didn't like a king or someone like that. So what he accused him of is doing pony play in the hallways of his castle, that he was doing this absolute, he was pretending to be a stallion, and he would run the mares through the hallway, and he would, do this pony play. It doesn't matter if that king actually did that or not. What matters is that there's actually a documentation of somebody accusing someone of doing this decadent behavior. So decadent behavior that Aristotle did. And, because we have a statue of that, it's been around for like a long, long time. And that is how 100 years from now, I was just at a cause. I like to do Dragon Con, and I like to do different characters for it. And Brian Humphrey does the Mad Scientist with a Camera, where you can sign up to have these professional pictures taken of you in your costume at Dragon Con. And he puts out a book every year. And I was talking to him and asking him, Why do you go all this trouble? You could just take the pictures, they'd be on the internet. You don't have to, He does the book because he feels at some time, if for any reason the internet goes down, everything on the internet will disappear, but there'll be a book. The books will survive because they have always survived.
Read a book. Please, people, read a book. Read a book. It's beautiful. The reason I'm talking to you right now is because I wrote a book. Seriously. Read the story, find out why. Thank you for talking about that, and thank you for bringing that up. I truly feel that that's what we're trying to do. You and I, we're trying to preserve the community, and not only that, but represent it well. A lot of, representing it well is important.
The thing about being that there are leather ponies, there are fetish ponies, there are rubber ponies, but we are also part of the leather community. And so they have several requirements to become part of the Leather Quilt. You have to have existed for over 10 years. You have to get letters of recommendation. And then you also have to give them all of your documentation of why you're part of the leather community. And so I did that because, as I said, getting into a leather event was the hardest task on my list of presentations to give and people to reach, and for to find connection with that community. And so I'm just, I'm very, very proud of that. I'm very excited that we get to put our quilt, we get to put our square in the quilt.
After you wrote this book, people received it. First of all, how was it received?
Like, how did people received?
In your opinion, as the author as the producer and the author of this book, how do you feel it's been received? Like when people see it, or people know you've written it, or people have read it, how, in your opinion, how has it been received?
I think that at first, so the thing about pony play is there's no holy grail. You can do it anyway, which it was actually Satine. Remember her sitting there drawing? Yes. That this was an important conversation that I had with Satine Phoenix. So she was like, yeah, there's no holy grail. But if you don't know what the heck to do, what are you going to do? Where are you going to start? Just tell me something. So I did. I gave her what my choices were, how I did it, simply so that you can have a starting block. You can, I want to do pony play, but what can I do? So when you get this book, you get, 237 pages of ideas of what you can do. Doesn't mean you have to always do it that way, but it is a place to start. It's like if you want to do jump rope, you're like, how do you do jump rope? And someone has to give you like their instructions, right? That's what my book is. It's just a stepping stone. It's an opening. And then I've also included in it, like when I rewrote it this last year. So like I said, over 2 years ago, I wanted to do this book, and I actually ended up editing it and sending it to a company that proofreads it and gets it ready to upload on Amazon. But as I had to go through the pages, there was just so much more that I had experienced and learned. So there I was, really furiously adding it.
I know exactly how you feel. Exactly how you feel. Yeah, because I'm writing a book now about the liver transplant during COVID, and now I wrote a lot when it happened, so I had the emotional impact of so I have that. But now I have as time passes, I get wiser type of vibe, you know what I mean? So and I'm learning much more, and I'm glad I didn't put anything out. You know, so yes, I understand that feeling, and I'm proud of you that you got through it.
I
It's
put
awesome.
out the other books because they were at least a stepping stone. It's just that I have so much more to add. You know, like I had a whole chapter on trainer clothes, and so, but what I noticed was I never explained, like, why should a trainer be involved in their attire and their presentation? Reasons why. I just went into different options that you could do, but I did not put in the first books why I felt it was important and what an opportunity it was for the person doing it. You know, I got done with Dragon Con, and I think there was something, it was actually on FetLife, where a Calico Caress was asking, if you were a Disney princess, who would you be? And that's where I was like, oh, I'd be Merida. She's perfect for me, you know? And so then all of a sudden I found myself on my phone texting, you know, my Frisian pony, who's because of her exploration of different hooves and tails and things, she seems to be transforming more into a Shire type horse. And Angus is right here. See, that's who these people are. So this is Angus, and he's from Disney. And so she's transforming into Angus. And I was like, well, you know, if I got a Merida costume, if I wanted to be Merida and rein you for the draft horse games, would you find that embarrassing? Would it be okay with you if I did that? And the reply I got was, yeah. So yay.
So, in this book, you have all these different kinds of races. You have the Scurvy race. Shout out to all the barrel races out there. The quadrangle stake race. Do you have a specific race? I mean, I understand this. I looked at things way too deeply. I understand that. I look at the symbolism of the emotional symbolism of what race means and all that stuff. Do you have a specific race that you enjoy the most? And why?
I would say the one that I currently. So all of the different types of events, all of those, there's driving instructions, there is the diagram, and then there's also the judging score sheet. So these were all curated at my events, and they changed over time. So I simply published my latest version of them, but it's a place to start, because also there's now enough ponies that we have events all over, and I was constantly being asked for my judging sheets. And so I was like, okay, I can publish them, and everyone can have them, and they'll be accessible. You just get the book. As far as what event do I like the most? Oh my gosh. So at the last Equus, during the year, I like to watch YouTube. I like to watch the equine events, and there's this thing called the Working Equitation Speed Race, and it has many parts to it, and things like where they take a rope and they open it and they take their pony through, and you have to close the rope gate, you have to go through the poles, you have to go around a ring, you have to walk in and pick up a bell. You have to take a mug from one place to another. It has many things. And so for Equus, I actually, I made it. I think when I put it in the book, there was like so many things to it. I had to do like 6 diagrams. As I was setting up this event, the trainers were like, man, how there's like 12 things to do. How am I going to remember where to go all over this corral doing these different things? And I was like, while I was watching the YouTube video of these equids doing this event, I noticed that there were numbers at each place. So I got us numbers, and I did. And so there were 12 things that you had to do, and it was challenging. It was new. It was definitely, by the end of the day, everyone's favorite thing of the entire event, because it was just so out there. So, stretching the boundaries. But isn't that, like part of what we do? You don't want to always play safe. You don't want to always just do flogging or spanking. You want to find something that pushes your boundaries. So even in pony play, even when you're usually doing barrel races or something like that, to find something, like if I could do cross country events, if I had a huge place, I would do that. Or canicross, where you go across, all these different things. I would love to do that, because it would be challenging and environmentally challenging, and you'd be there with your pup, like doing all the different things. Or, I like that. I like challenging yourself, and it builds your relationship with your pony and the trainer. It builds who you are in your core, and what you think that you can do, especially as we grow, as we mature. You should have a sense of accomplishment, and that you're not stagnant. You're still able to grow, to expand your boundaries, to push that envelope. It's exciting.
Have you seen, or have you seen the perception of pony play change over the years? I mean, like you said, a perfect example would be like, it used to be hard to find this stuff. And that's why, like, you can find all this stuff in one place. So guess what? You wrote a book, and it gets personal too, which is, it's a beautiful book. Please buy it. But over the years, especially with the internet, stuff like that, what is your opinion? Have you seen the perception of pony play? How people view people like you and us and stuff like that? Have you seen it change?
Well, there's also at the same time been a huge growth of furries. So
yes, it's a good point.
So
I didn't think of that.
So there's also just the public, all the muggles out there. They've had to deal with a lot of people who want to have fun and dress up as animals. And it's in their TV, it's in their movies, it's in all of that. So that's there. There's also just the creative skill. Like when I started doing pony play, there was pony boys and pony girls, but the whole mask thing, like there are craftsmen who build masks that you can put on, and they usually have fans in the nuzzle so that people can breathe. But so it looks like you're a horse, because this leather hood that you are wearing turns you into a horse. There's a couple of them in the LA Pony and Critter Club now that have those. I think I saw you going through the gallery, and there was someone from Colorado that had come and visited us and at the LA Pony and Critter Club, and he's wearing one of those masks. So the craftsmanship of how you want to, it's in the gallery. Yeah. Go up. There you are, right there.
Oh, yeah,
So he's putting a hood on. So this kind of craftsmanship, I think, is pretty, that's definitely a change since when I started. I don't remember there being all that many when in like 2005 or 7. Like I don't remember that. But it was something out of Germany. And
I just got a text from somebody. Hey, this is a good question. How expensive is this? Like the average?
Very expensive. I made a conscious choice to produce. I can produce an entire event for the amount of money that hood cost. My budget for Equus is like between $5,000-$7,000.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again, please? For the amount of money you spend on
producing an entire event.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Is what it costs for one of those. I think that there are some there's some craftsmen who there are people who make them for less. They have certain different qualities about them. You can shop around now. So there's someone like in the Ukraine, there's someone in Poland, there's someone, and then there's the gentleman in Germany. He does incredible work. And I think they're like years booked out because they don't make them overnight. But yeah, they cost thousands of dollars. I don't have one. I produce events rather than buy that.
Well, what people should do is they should buy this book to get you money so you could get one.
That would be like so nice.
All right, let's move.
So this is the thing. There are people who approach pony play and that they see that and they have the coins, and so they will go buy the hood and the suit, either a rubber suit or a cat suit, and then the harness and the tail and the hooves and the hoof boots, and they have invested thousands of dollars. And there are people whose pony play literally is putting that on and looking in the mirror, and that's it. That's their pony play. That's as far as they go. And if that floats their boat and that's as far as they want to go, that's fine. But I have had those people come all the way to LA. We've had people from the Netherlands and England and Germany and Canada come to our little events in LA for Equus, or even for a play date. Like they just match up their vacation time and they come to our track, and so they actually can move and be a pony and actually do the things rather than just dress up. And they look incredible, and it's a thing. It's a valid thing. They get all the gear and they go out and they get a photographer to take pictures of them out in the environment. they have incredible pictures. They're beautiful. I'm envious. You know, it isn't my jam though. I want to actually interact with other people and do things and do these activities that I see beautiful equids do. You know, I was at the Derby when Rich Strike won the Derby. That was incredible. Are you kidding? Like when he came down and the horses that were supposed to win the Derby, like the announcer was all about those two horses that were supposed to win the Derby. And then he came down and passed them. And that entire arena was quiet. Absolutely dead quiet for like that long, like shockingly long. And to participate in events where you can recreate that to me is meaningful. That's my jam. So fox hunts. Fox hunts are creative social chaos in a contained way.
Yes.
Way. We go out to a park. We've done this for many, many years. The Forest Service knows we're coming. They used to for years, like before we started, they would send a forest ranger to give us a talk on safety in the forest. And we would all sit there. And because, we were going out in the forest. And so the foxes go out with a handful of the little flags, like the flags that mark where your gas line is so that you don't dig there. Those little wire flags with color. All right. So they make those in lots of different colors. I have all of them. And so like one fox gets, and I don't want to use the green because the green disappears in the forest. Okay. So these are supposed to be their pee trail, right? Because how the pups find the foxes by the pee trail. So these little flags that are orange or red or white or yellow that stand out, and they're supposed to drop one. And you're supposed to be able to see it from wherever the last one is. So they go out and they drop these flags. They get 20 minutes. They're supposed to set it up. They can set it up so that it's confusing, so that you can like send it off and like backtrack. You're supposed to set it up because you're a clever fox. And the idea is to go out into the forest and to win the cage. So I have a huge dog cage that actually was for one of my golden retriever, and I usually stuff the foxes in there and I release them from it. So the cage that they got released from becomes the cage that they want to go out and come back into. And if they get in that cage without being tagged by a pup, then they've won. And they get 20 minutes to go out, and then the hounds are released. And then the hounds, their job is to track down the foxes, and they tag them. So it's like a game of chase and tag. I've had incredible pictures. Like there was one time where this pup had a fox and they were running. The fox was running back to the cage and he's running down the river and he's falling, and the pup almost catches him and he gets up, and then the pup falls. It's like where they're like almost, but not quite. And I've seen the foxes like dive into the cage, in order to not be tagged. It's
So
incredible.
to produce an event like this, I mean, the way it sounds like there's a lot of people. What kind of numbers? Just to clarify and to remind everybody, what kind of numbers are we talking about at these events?
Well, you have to have, in order to do the event, you have to have a fox, and there's a guide that goes with the fox. We never let anybody go out into the park alone. So in case the animal like falls into the headspace, they have someone who's human who's watching after them.
I can only imagine like a real fox watching all of this happen with a real dog that just kind of strays in and be like, or a real horse and be like, what the hell are these humans doing?
Yeah. Well, Ollie comes along. Ollie has actually gone, where we released a fox, and I have Ollie, and he's like tracked down a fox. And I was looking like one time, so there was a trail, and I was looking at the flags, and I was pulling on Ollie to go more into, like there's more flags up here. We want to go up here. And Ollie's like, no, we're going down here. And the flags were a deviant. They were a false ruse. The fox had gone back and was sitting down by the river where Ollie wanted to go. And Ollie's a biodog. So Ollie totally gets the game. But yeah, no, it's fun. They're fun. And then we have a huge feast afterwards.
We missed this one question.
Yes.
What advice would you give to someone who feels drawn to pony play but is nervous about taking that first
step? Just reach out. Just give it a whirl. That's true with anything. I think the hardest part of doing any project is actually just taking that first step. Whether it be painting a painting or anything creative. Any project you want to do.
Yeah, once you get momentum, I mean, this book is a perfect example. You just get it started. Just get it
started. Just find someone in your local area that wants to come play. You can always write me because there's a contact page at the LA Pony and Critter Club or the Equus website. You can write me. You can ask me if there's someone in your area, and I will hook you up. So at the top, contact us. If I know of someone in your area, I will direct you to that spot. The areas right now in the United States that have very flourishing pony play is Seattle, Portland, LA. There's lots of ponies in San Diego. They tend to come up to our events. Colorado in Denver has pony play. There's in the Northeast, all the people in Washington, D.C., there's a big Camp Crucible and the Crucible Club. There's also down in Dallas. There's also in Florida, in Orlando, Florida. So,
what are your dreams for pony play in the creator community over the next 10 years?
I hope that it just continues to flourish and that it's supportive and positive and that, it's just so much fun. So I just hope it just continues on doing that where, and the thing about it being that, that we have so many people who want to do it, that we can actually have more events. It'd be nice to see more events across the country that different throughout the year that people could go to, so they could go to one, in February, and they can go to one in April, and they can go to one in June, and they can go to some place that's cold during the summer. Like, because I have to cease activity in Tarzana because we get 120 degrees in Tarzana. So it just gets a little too hot for people there. But yeah, if we continue and flourish and work together and have teamwork, we could create just a magnificent community for people to play in.
You know what? You know me. I am a very sentimental. I'm a sentimental sometimes. I romanticize the past. You've created something, and you're a part of something that is so beautiful. That is a wonderful community. Do you have a favorite memory? I mean, one that like you cherish. The one that you want to almost be known for. What's your favorite memory of a Pony Play scene or an event?
Oh gosh, favorite memory. Gosh. I have so many.
Let's choose one.
I would say every time that I see my ponies, Chiogre and Speckles, anytime I'm with them is my favorite memory. They're just incredible. I'll give you a favorite memory. So last year, I wasn't at DomCon when they presented me the Sabrina Belladonna award. So here I was getting these absolutely fabulous awards, and I set up our booth and I set up our pony show at DomCon, and I went off to Jamaica to Kinky Caribbean because I was asked to do pony play at this international event. And I don't think that they weren't sure how I was going to be perceived. I actually made out of yarn, which is in my book, ponytails, and I had belts that they were attached to. And at the time, I just had the stockroom bit that went in so that you could hook the reins to them. I did Western games on the beach in Niagara, Jamaica. And it was so much fun. There were actually people at that resort hanging out of their balcony, cheering the ponies while they did the Western games. The people who participated in it had incredible fun. Like when people are experiencing being and just ecstatic fun, their face, there's you can do it. I can't do it like unnaturally, but they get that smile that goes like ear to ear, and they can't like not smile. Like you go away from this experience with your mouth hurting because you smiled so much, and that was how it was for them. And the people that were down actually where I was doing the Western games. So we did barrel racing and we did pole bending. And so we did several Western games, and I handed out ribbons and all of that. And it became the talk of the event because people had no idea how much fun it was and what a great time it was. And that's really it. I mean, that's why we do pony play. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It is just incredible fun.
talking about. I had to put you on the screen with I take myself out because no one wants to look at me. But you smiling and you're so happy to see talking about it. That's why I wanted to capture and document that because to see the joy and to to hear it. I could hear your smile. You know what I mean? All right, let's move it on. Now we're gonna loosen things up. AI and kink. How have you been evolving with
Um,
AI? How have you?
oh God. I'm not for it because my jam is connection and people actually connecting with other people and being. It's be, do, have. You be a pony, you do things ponies do. And while you're doing that, you collect the things that you need in order to do the activities that you want to. It's not it's not AI.
It's a tool, but it
There
is.
is
Don't forget you're human.
there's
It
that
makes
whole
it feel like-
website where they do pony play online. I guess if you have no other outlet, like you can't do it personally. I forget what the site's called, but they have it's like a whole kingdom, it's a whole country, and you can go be a pony and you can do pony play on this internet site. If you have no other outlet and that's you can't do it personally, then great, go experience yourself that way. If that's all you got, great. But
All right.
I'm about people experiencing joy.
A friend of mine said, and I'm starting to learn it more and more. It's making us less human. You
Well,
know
there's
what I mean?
all
If you really
those,
feel like,
there's, on my Twitter feed, when I scroll through on my porn profile, Robin Pacino. So then I'll get all of the, you look at the pictures of the girls that are doing the postings, and they're obviously not real. Like,
oh, of course.
nobody looks like that. Sorry, no.
No.
They,
But
and
definitely,
so,
I think the kink community should use it because politically, people have been using it against us. And we have to know what their ammunition, we should know their firepower. You know what I mean? So yes, it's something I think that we should learn, but also be very wary of. The beauty of what you do is the connection. It's more human to be a horse, it seems sometimes. You know what I mean? All right, let's have some fun. Would you rather? Would you rather? All right, we're gonna make this really quick. Right? Each one. Would you rather? You have to choose one or the other, Ed. Okay?
okay.
You can't have both. All right? It's a session. It's some kind of session. Would you rather have it be all psychological or all physical?
Physical, because it's easier.
Okay. All
That's
right.
like
Would you rather?
Tickling is very hard to process as opposed to pain
True.
for
Good.
me.
Very, very good point. Would you rather? Would you rather experiment with a new kink or do the standards?
To a point, new kink, but there's definitely things.
You got to choose one or the other.
I don't want to be hung upside down, twist.
subMissAnn. Oh, she's freezing. Oh, hello, you're back.
I'm back.
Yes, you don't want to be tied upside down, but okay.
So within on the things I'm willing to try, sure, but I actually had a partner who did that. Like I was in the LA scene, and pretty much what everyone did at the clubs was they did flogging and paddling and things that look good on stage, right? But I had a partner that literally what we did was we went through the list, like doing a zipper, anal play, anal play is not always attractive, like after they shove tennis-sized balls up your ass, and then they pull it out, and you have to pull it out over a bucket, that's so there's all of the play like that, but doing it, yeah, like, so I had someone who checked off those boxes. This is the same, when you talk about psychological play, which is why I don't prefer it. He also chained me to the floor, peed on me, and then took out a cattle prod and made like he was going to touch me with the cattle prod. And you've never heard such screams and profanity come out of my mouth, because I was, I thought he was really going to do it, but it was all the, the mental stuff.
Now I'm thinking, I don't know, because I never cattle prodded a urine soaked woman, so I would imagine that there would be some kind of because there's a lot of water in urine, and the electricity, wouldn't that be an issue?
I think urine is mostly water, and electricity and water are, so it would go like all over where, I think that's how you get electrocuted. At least in my mind, that's exactly where I was.
I wanted to ease in on that. I could have responded.
You don't want to be in a bathtub with water and have something electrical get dropped into it.
Yeah, I could have. I wanted to ease into that. I could have responded with like, "What the hell did you?"
No.
All right. Would you rather? We got to move it along.
Into it. I went to 10 immediately.
All right. Would you rather have sensory deprivation or sensory overload? Sensory deprivation is blindfold, earplugs, or sensory overload, feathers, ice, hot wax, maybe music.
I like
one or the other.
I would rather have sensory deprivation, because I am my best friend, and being in a silent spot with myself is cool.
Yes. Yeah. Right on. Oh my God. That's a great line. 132. Right on. That's so good. All right, self-care rituals. The older I get, I just turned 50, and a liver transplant. I have to take care of myself. No one else is gonna like really take care of me like me. So I have to. Self-care is very important. I have my own.
This is a lot of maintenance. This is a whole lot of maintenance. I don't know how.
So what do you do? What are your self-care?
Actually, an 8 to 5 job could do like all the things that I do. So, just every day, I start with the first thing I eat is an avocado. Because it helps you control your weight, and it has good things in it for you. I also do a multivitamin that is digested well, and I take a brain gut supplement and a prebiotic, and then I look at a balanced diet, mostly vegetables, but I like meat, and I think meat's good for you. So I walk my dog. My dog was picked basically because I live in an apartment. Ollie and I walk 5 miles a day. By the time we finish with 6 a.m., right now it's 8:30 because it gets hot. And then we'll go out. We're late for our between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock because I was getting ready for the show. So Ollie is at my feet and he is waiting He's so good. And then we have like a 5:30 after dinner, and we have a before. Anyway, I actually took one of those trail things where you measure how long your trail is or how you're going to do the trail. We do over 5 miles a day, just in walking. And then I do a Tai Chi routine for it's about 15 minutes. And I also do a yoga. It's about 20 minutes. So I'm 70. And these are things that work for me. I'm not into the gym. If I had to go do something.
You look fantastic. You look amazing. Seriously, you are an inspiration. You are absolutely. You're beautiful. Absolutely. So you are. Thank you. Seriously. Oh, let's do some fan questions. Stan Vladimir says, if you could have any superpower, what would it be, and how would you use it in your kinky life?
I could have any superpower. My superpower would be that people would see their connections and not their differences.
That's beautiful. It's very beautiful. And now we have Michael Brzezinski with the not so beautiful question. Hey guys, thank you for the question, Mike. Seriously, every question is good. Well, some aren't, but this is good. Have you ever sacked a guy in the nuts? Do you like to use your fists, boots, or heels when sacking a guy in the nutsack?
It's interesting. So I had my friend Astra, who's a great dominatrix, show me how to do it. And I determined that for me, there was, as far as kicking a guy in the nuts, there was too much that could go wrong if you didn't do it well.
My God.
You have to be committed. It's something that you have to be committed. Like when I do service topping, I'm not the person to go to be heavily beaten. That there are people out there that are magnificent at that. I am more the entry person, that if you want to try different things and see how you like them, and then if you want to explore them more, you can go off, and do that. Now, have I taken something in my hand and hit a guy in the nuts or the penis? Yes, absolutely, because I have control over that, and I can definitely do that. In fact, I had a session where a guy told me that he wanted me to put electrodes. He wanted me to tie up his cock with rope and put electrodes on his balls. And he wanted me to turn up the TENS unit, and he wanted to cry from this experience. He wanted me to take him to the point of crying. So here's the thing. You never, ever, ever tell someone who's been a submissive that you want to do something and expect for them to let you wimp out, because no submissive wants to fail. Not really, not in the heart. If they say they want to do something, they want to keep their word and they want to keep going. And I will not fail you. So yes, I did exactly what he said. And at the end of it, and he did cry, and I did stop, and I took him out, and he was like, you didn't show me any mercy. I was like, of course not. I wanted you to win. So yeah, I'm good with that.
Thank you.
I am a sadist.
That was a wonderful, unexpected little twist the show made. And I thank you. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. All right. Rapid fire recommendations. We got a boot show coming up tonight, 7 p.m. If you want to, get your boots out. All right. Rapid fire recommendations. Recommend a film. any film. It doesn't have to be the greatest film of all time. Just the film you think I'd like.
The Last Samurai.
Last Samurai. Okay. Oh, I got a friend who was a production assistant on that. I don't want to mention his name, but you know you are. But give me a call. Anyway, all right. Recommend a book.
The Art of Racing in the Rain.
The Art of Racing in the Rain. I also cannot recommend this book enough. Pony Play by subMissAnn. And also, please, your kinky friends, take your broken heart, make it into art.
The Art of Racing in the Rain is where I truly learned. So it's about manifesting. And it's written through the eyes of a dog, Enzo. And I highly, highly recommend it. I actually got this. It was at a boutique hotel in Toronto, Canada, and it was on the bed. And so in between sessions, I read this book, and I took this book home, and it became the book that I would give you. Like, I have a friend who gives Atlas Shrugged. Like, if you're going to play with him, you have to read Atlas Shrugged. And me, so if I had a book that I required you to read, it would be The Art of Racing in the Rain.
That sounds a little more positive.
Definitely.
John Galt.
But also, if you're a pony and you want to play with me, you need to read this book. You know? Because
recommend a meal.
Tell you everything about how I feel about everything about pony play.
The Art of Racing in the Rain. I'm going to definitely read that. Recommend a meal.
Salmon, roasted potatoes, and green beans, string beans. It can all be done on your grill.
That sounds amazing. Word association game. This is real quick. The first word that comes into your head, right?
Okay.
There's no wrong answer. There's no wrong answer at all. So if I say chastity,
there are terrible wrong answers.
You know, if I say chastity, you could say lock. But if I say chastity, you could say salmon, right? All right. All right. Pony play.
Good times.
Kitten play.
Meow.
Puppy play.
Ollie.
Brats.
Not fun.
Male doms.
Ouch.
Financial doms.
Hard limit, no.
Splashing.
Pies.
Face slapping.
Not my thing.
Sissification.
Ribbons.
Chastity.
Locks.
Leather.
The smell.
I'm not gonna bother you with the last two. They're this and that, so we don't have to do that. subMissAnn, we're all looking for something. Where do you want your kinky pet to take you next?
I have no idea. My journey has been one of simply walking down that windy, rosy path that has doors that open and you choose to go through it or you don't. Didn't have I didn't have a premeditated plan of being where I am. It's just where I ended up because I took the opportunities that were given me, and I've never, ever been sorry for my choices.
Thank you. And finally, please complete this sentence. Life is
a grand journey or nothing at all.
Thank you. Thank you, Ann. I truly appreciate it. I love having you on the show, and I've said it before, and I said it off camera too. You helped inspire me, like seeing you doing your thing and being so productive in such a way. I mean, pony play and the way you do pony play is elegant. It's on this other level that I have seen, and it's it's not only inspiring, but it's almost like set the standard of pony play. And I'm honored to have you on. Thank you very much. Please buy this book.
I'm thrilled to have so much fun. Really, really thrilled. I am very, very blessed. I'm blessed by the people in my life. I feel so incredibly blessed and honored by who I have around me. Thank you. Thanks for being one of those people.
Everybody can get 15% off all inventory at Locked and Lost with offer code YKF. Please go to your kinky friends, and please go to Spotify and subscribe. I'm taking them off YouTube. I'm taking a lot of stuff off YouTube, so it's not going to be there. Please go to Spotify, and also Patreon. Patreon is very important. YKF, patreon.com, YKF, and Cash App at YKF YKF Panic with a small t. Everybody, thank you. Get inspired. SubMissAnn in this book is inspiring this culture, this world that has been created. It's going to be a great week. Get inspired by those horses. The majestic creatures.
I'll take my glasses off just for the last moment here. So this is what I look like without my computer glasses.
Thank you very much, everybody. We got to go check out the Boots episode. It's going to be great. Be cool, be kind, and keep an open mind.